Into Casimotive, and in this video what I wanted to do is I wanted to share with you five lessons that I took away from the BBC Three program which I watched yesterday on homeless young mums living in a mother and baby hostel, that I hope can add some value into your life and that can help you become a higher, fuller expression of yourself. By the way, if you're interested in watching more of these videos, jump on my YouTube channel Casimotive and subscribe to it so that I can keep sending you more of these videos so that you can become your highest, fullest expression of yourself. You will know, if you've been following me for a little while, that I've been on this insatiable quest to essentially answer two questions, which is it possible when you fucked up, when your life hasn't gone the way that you wanted it, when fate has not thrown you the best circumstances, when you don't come from privilege, when your parents aren't rich, when you've messed up, when you've gone maybe and have been involved in a criminal activity, maybe you've been born in a cancer estate, gone through the fostering system, is it possible to go from homeless and all those circumstances and turn your life around? But also, is it possible to do that without ending up divorced, without ending up killing yourself, without ending up stepping on everybody on your path? Is there some people who've done it? And if so, how did they do it? And what common denominators link all these individuals? So let's go through these five lessons that I wanted to share with you in this video, and have been really, those two questions have been the center of why it is that I wanted to share these videos with you and these lessons with you, and I hope that they can really serve you and that can really help you become a higher, fuller expression of yourself. So let's go. 5 lessons. The first lesson that I learned is that it's good to have goals, but it's even better to have a vision. One of the things that becomes very, very apparent to me whenever I study people who make it out of a system, because life has all these systems. There's a fostering system, there's a housing system, there is a criminal system. There are all these systems which I'm actually literally this morning I'm writing a book about this whole thing, about systems and rules and laws and cycles and seasons. There are all these different things. But when you are coming from a situation where you're in these systems and these loops and you've gone and turned your life around, these people who manage to turn their lives around, they have what's called vision. Now, vision is a capacity to see things better than what they currently are. It's the ability to see things for what they could be. See, a lot of people, they have, and this is what I found, a lot of people who struggle to get to their objective, a lot of people who struggle to actually reach their goal, is that it's not that they don't know what they want, they genuinely do, but what ends up happening is, and it's actually something that I have to teach a lot of people, and it's a common occurrence that happens with a lot of the high achievers. So the top salespeople, whenever I speak to them, this is a common problem that they face, which is that when you find somebody who is struggling, they typically tend to be a lot hungrier, a lot more driven than somebody who isn't. And so when they know what they want, they genuinely, most of the time, actually get it. And in this program, you find this girl who wants to get a house, and that is really important. But the thing is, every single time we reach a goal, we actually become a little bit depressed, believe it or not. Because human beings, we constantly need to have something to go for. I remember there was a man that I was studying called Ted Turner. Ted Turner changed the course of my life when he said this. He said, set the kinds of goals which you will the kinds of dreams which you will never be able to achieve. Set them. And then I heard Jim Rohn say something again which impacted the course of my life. Jim Rohn said this. Jim Rohn said that set the kinds of goals that will make something of you. He said that the greatest value in life is not what we get. The greatest value in life is who we became. It took me ages to figure that out, and it might take you ages to figure what I've just said out, which is that the greatest value in life is not what we get. The greatest value in life is who we become. Research it, Google it, think about it, because I don't want to go into this some massive detail in that phrase. It's too complex for me to go into in this very short video. But what I found is, and this is so significant, and I really want you to understand the impact of this, is that you've got to see, a lot of people can see the world as it used to be. Loads of people can talk about where it used to be like this, and in the 70s it used to be like this, and when I was 20 it used to be like this, and when I was 15 it was this great. Loads of people can do that. Loads of people can talk about today. They can talk about how shit it is, how the system is against them, how it's really difficult, how they don't have the money, they don't have the resources, they don't have the education, nobody's supporting them. Loads of people can do that. In fact, I would say 98% of society does that. The people who become successful, who become winners, who become extraordinary, who turn their lives around, they see all of that, but they do this. They say, but if I did this, look at where I could go. But look at what my word could be like. They envision, and this is the key word, vision. They see a future which is much better. I mean, the future has to become like a magnet. Every single day, we're all constantly being pulled. Most of us are being pulled back by the past. Some of us are being pulled sideways. So our family, our friends, our needs today, our work, our job, our rent, we're being pulled side by side by things around us. But very few people are being pulled forward by their vision. Very few people have something out there in the future which is so bright, so exciting, so enticing that it literally becomes like a magnet. One of the things that I want to share with you is you want to have the kinds of goals that pull you through things. So when you get to this is how you will know that your goals are big. You will know because when you think about the obstacles to getting there, the obstacles become irrelevant. I will repeat. When you have a vision, when you set goals so big, you will know that they're going to pull you because the obstacles to getting there will no longer be an issue. So you will have such a goal where you say, yeah, but I'm going to need money. And then all of a sudden, you'll start finding yourself saying, well, in that case, I'll get a job. Well, I'll get a part-time job. Well, I'll work for a year. Yeah, I don't care. If I have to work for 10 years to get the money, then I'll work 10 years. Do you see what I'm saying? The obstacle is no longer the problem now. But there is a tendency, see, a lot of us, when we have goals, but these goals are so lousy, they're so small, they're not exciting. And so as a result, when we reach an obstacle, when we reach a barrier, we're like, well, this is difficult, this is hard, I don't have the money. Why would you go through so much pain to get such a little reward? It's pointless. So that's one of the reasons whenever I'm coaching people, one of the first things that I say to them is I want you to buy a journal and I want you to write down 500 things that you want in your life. What you want to become, the kind of car you want, the kind of house you want, places you love to travel to, people you want to meet, the kinds of food you'd like to eat, experiences you'd like to have, like maybe go fishing, jump out of a plane, go paragliding, crowd surf, have a meal with a president, meet your hero. But essentially, I'm trying to build this vision. I want to build such a future that the main pull on the person's life is that future, not the past, about the mistakes that they've made, not about what's happening today in society, but about the future. I want it so that every single day they wake up and they're like, right, let's go. What do I need to do today? Here's my question. What is the main pull in your life at the moment? Is the main pull the past? Is the main pull the present? Or is the main pull the future? The second lesson that I learned from the program, which I hope can add some value into you and that can serve you, is to invest in yourself. See, a lot of us, it's not that we lack the ability to be able to actually get our goal. The issue for a lot of us is that we are not prepared to change. A lot of us, we want other people to give us money and to give us help and other people to support us and other people to be there for us and point us in the right direction and do the best that they can, but we will do nothing to invest in ourselves. Do you know what? I meet people who are struggling and I say to them, you do know that around the corner from where you live, there's a library. If you live in England, essentially in England, in the UK, within, I would say, half an hour of anybody who lives in sort of, just the normal areas. Clearly, if you live in the middle of Scotland, in the middle of nowhere, in a highland somewhere, yes, of course, it's going to take you a little bit to get somewhere. But if you live in England, most of us are within half an hour of a library. Did you know that a library card is free? You could go into a library and any problem that you have, there's a book written on it. They literally, Did you know that there are books on how to get stronger, how to be more confident, how to start a new skill, on leadership, how to be a better mother, how to be happy, how to get over anxiety, how to write a CV, how to get a new job, how to get a promotion, how to juggle having a single child? There literally have been people who've been successful and who have gone through experiences in life have wrote books about what they've gone through, and people don't even read them. Here's my question to you. In the last 6 months, how many books have you read to improve you? How many courses have you gone on? How many workshops have you attended? How many seminars have you gone on? Did you know that all over England at universities, in the evenings, universities put on specific lectures and they invite in people who are professors, people who are world class, leading experts in their field to come in and speak on a certain subject. And at the end of each speech, you can ask questions to these individuals. And they're free. They're free. You pay nothing. Okay, fine. Some of them you might have to pay like £1, which is for them to print your ticket. In which case, borrow it from somebody, right? And people don't go to them. I can share with you that your life will grow to the extent that you invest in yourself. I remember I was studying a guy called Ed Ball. Ed Ball is the world's strongest man. He's the first person, he's a pioneer, so he was the first person to ever lift the heaviest amount of kilograms, which was 500 kilograms. Nobody's ever been able to do it. In fact, in his attempt to do it, he had brain damage because it was so much weight. And he talked about the fact that in his attempt to do this, he had to invest in himself over £1 million. This is for stuff like for people like what do you call them, like masseuses, people to do these what do you call it? There are these things, these massive machines which basically put cold stuff on your, cold air on your body and helps it repair. He had to have all these professionals give him advice in order to attempt that, and he had to invest that money before he achieved his vision. Here's what I'm saying. If you want to achieve your objective, you've got to get to the point where you start investing in yourself. See, in this program, it becomes very clear that all the people who are not making progress are all the people who are blaming everybody else, who are waiting for everybody else, and they're not improving. But the one girl who makes it through, who is making progress, is the one who's going to college. Is it difficult? 100%. Is it hard trying to juggle kids and trying to juggle a job and trying to invest in yourself and trying to go to college and reading? 100%. But nobody said it was going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Yes, of course, there's some people who have started off ahead of you, but they will have their own battles. But the key to this is you've got to invest in yourself. Human beings, we have this amazing capacity to actually be able to grow, to develop, to be able to go to the next level. We have this amazing capacity to be able to actually put work in on ourselves, and we actually grow in maturity, develop in thinking, develop our gifts and refine them. We have the capacity to be able to learn new skills in leadership, in sales, in marketing. Is it hard? 100%. Is it difficult? 200%. Is it tiring? 400%. But if you're willing to do that and invest in you, all of a sudden your growth begins to be accelerated. See, I found out something which was amazing. I found out that it's when we go to work, we don't get paid for the amount of hours we work. We get paid for the value that we become. And I discovered that it is possible to become more valuable in the marketplace. Meaning, I discovered that most people spend their life working hard on their job, but very few people spend time working hard on themselves. So Jim Rohn said, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. Every decision that you make, your thinking, your habits are all a result of you. So remember, the more you pour into yourself, the more ideas that you get, the more skills, the more knowledge, the more wisdom that you acquire, the more better decisions and better habits and more you can produce in your life. The third lesson that I learned from this is to take full responsibility for your life. Once again, Jim Rohn, who was a major influence in my life, said that the day that you move from childhood to adulthood is a day that you take full responsibility for your life. I will repeat, the day that you move from being a child to being an adult is the day that you take full responsibility for your life. The day that you say, I am going to do this. I will do whatever I have to do in order to meet my objective. I'm willing to work weekends. I'm willing to go and no matter what's happened in my life, to say that I'm going to do whatever I have to do. I understand that I may not have the help. I understand that it's going to take me 50 years. I understand that I'm going to need to change myself in order to get what I want. But no matter what I have to do, I am solely responsible for my life. I encourage you to take charge of your life. One of the greatest days that I believe a guy had in his life was, I remember I was studying The Man, who the movie The Pursuit of Happiness was written about. And in I'm sure you know the Will Smith film. And in that film, the guy talks about a scene or a time in his life where he was laying in he was sleeping in toilets with his son, and they were playing a game of shh, right, where he was teaching his son that when somebody came into the bathrooms not to make any noise. And he remembers waking up one day, going to wash his face in the sort of the basin, and he said, when I looked up, I had to ask myself a question, and the question was, how did I get here? And he said, one of the hardest days of my life was accepting that the reason why I got here is because I drove here. He said, I had something to do with the way my life turned out. Yes, his wife left him with a single child. Yes, he messed up. Yes, he should have been more successful and he didn't make better decisions. Absolutely. But nevertheless, he had something to do with the outcome of his life. He said, but the great thing about that is because I realized that I drove there, because I realized I had something to do with the way my life turned out, I was also empowered because I also realized I have the power to drive out of here. I also have the power to do something to alter my life. Let me share something with you. When you get to the point where you realize that you have actually made decisions in your life that have fucked your life up, that they're the reason why you're not happy, they're the reasons why you're single, they're the reason why your career isn't where it needs to be, the reason why you don't have vitality and there's this gunfire and war going on in your head is because it's primarily because of you. The day that you come to that, you're going to be liberated. You're going to have so much power because you also realize, oh my God, well, that also means I can get better. That also means I can drive out of here. That also means I can improve my relationship, that I can improve myself, that I can make better decisions, that I can start setting goals, that I can start growing. Human beings, we're not like trees. We're not like the geese, which have to fly south in the winter. Human beings, we can go west, north, whatever. It's our decision. We're the only living organisms on this planet that have this ability to be able to choose literally our direction. Every other living organism on this planet operates by what is called an instinctive code. I'm telling you that when a zebra sees a lion, its natural instinct is to what? Run away from it. That's its. A zebra won't say, nah, do you know what? I'm going to be strategic about this, and I'm going to try to find see if I can shoot it down, and I'm going to try to climb a tree, and I'm going to, let me see if I can outrun it. It can't do that. Its literal natural instinct within a second is to run. Human beings, we can actually say, no, I don't like this. Hold on a minute. Do I have an advantage in this? Do you see what I'm saying? We have the capacity to actually look at other people's past, look at what we've been through, look at other people's experience and say, do you know what, based on this and what I've gathered here and what I've experienced, let me make this decision. We have that amazing capacity. And I'm wondering whether you recognize that in yourself, whether you recognize that you have that power. Because until you recognize you take responsibility, you can't recognize that you have that power. Something for you to think about. The next lesson that I wanted to share with you, which I hope serves you and adds some value into your life, is to just start journaling so that you can make better decisions. I've shared with you guys before that one of the major things that changed the course of my life was the day that I started journaling. I started journaling about, and I'm going to name a few things that might be useful for you. I started journaling 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. I started journaling about my day, like what decisions have I made through the day? Have I made some decisions today that have been bad or that have been good? What do I need to work on tomorrow? Am I still heading in the direction of my dreams? Have my dreams or my goals changed? Do I need to take a different path? What are the people around me doing to me? Are they multiplying me? Are they encouraging me? Are they subtracting from me? Are they good influence? What are my relationships like? These are the kinds of questions that I write down every day because I'm trying to become very aware of what exactly is happening. Because you see, one of the things that I learned in my life was the reason why I was making so many mistakes and I was becoming a failure in my life was because I kept making shit decisions, basically. I didn't have wisdom. I didn't have enough knowledge or experience to be able to make better decisions. So I had to become very aware of the decisions that I was making. That's why I journal every day. I want to know, what am I saying? What am I doing? Where exactly am I going? See, I discovered when I started studying psychology that the human brain has this amazing ability to basically lie to us. Our psyche doesn't want to make us feel like shit, right? So what it does, it has this amazing ability to basically manipulate what is actually our reality. So we may say, let me give you an example of this. So you may be in your life at the moment not happy with your job, but this is what your brain will do. It will say, yeah, but do you know what? At least I'm not starving. At least I don't live in Africa. At least I'm not as bad as the people in Jeremy Kyle. Do you see what I mean? Because now you don't feel very bad because you said that about yourself. But actually, the reality is you hate your job. The reality is every single morning you wake up and you're repeating the same shit and you don't like it. You can't wait until Saturday. Doesn't that sound weird to you? That you would spend 5/7 of, how do you say that? 1 out of 7. What's that? 1/5? 1/7. 1/7. 5/7. Listen, you understand what I'm saying, okay? You will spend 5 days out of 7 doing something that you hate to then spend the 2 days doing something that you like. That just sounds crazy to me now that I think about it. And these are the kinds of things that I started writing down. I started writing down, what's my week like? What am I looking forward to? What am I not looking forward to? What do I like? What don't I like? Listen to me, this stuff literally changed the course of my life because I then started really being very conscious about my life. Instead of me kind of settling for fate and kind of going along with these kind of bullshit about what I really wanted and lying to myself, I actually just got real with myself. Do I really like my job? No, not really. Does it really pay me the amount of money that I want? No, not really. Do I have the money that I want to be able to go into a restaurant and eat what I want? Well, no, not really, Cash, you don't. Am I happy? No, not really. You're not happy, Cass. Okay, well, what are you going to do about it then? Where do you need to be? Do you need to read a book? Do you need to attend a seminar? Do you need to speak to someone? Do you need to go through therapy? This is the kind of stuff I wrote down. And this stuff literally altered the course of my life. And I desire it so bad for you because the other side of it is unreal. But at first, you've got to start journaling. You've got to start making better decisions in your life. The last lesson that I wanted to share with you is that you will have to go and risk again, even though you feel like a failure and even though your life hasn't gone the way that you wanted it to. There is a tendency when you are in a state or you're in a stage in your life where you feel like a failure. And a lot of people who do find themselves homeless, who do find themselves in debt, who find themselves in prison, who find themselves in an area where they've been through fostering, you can feel like a statistic. You can feel like your life has no significance, your life has no meaning, and it's like no one even cares. No one really understands me. No one really pays any attention. You feel invisible. And there is a tendency when you have messed up and your life hasn't gone the way that you've wanted it to lower your expectations. Why try risking again? Why try? If your heart has been broken and torn into 1,000 pieces, why go out there and try to love again? It's only going to be broken again, isn't it? If you've gone out there and, your parents abandoned you and you've ended up in foster care, why try to even better yourself? I mean, no one even cares. If your own parents don't even care, who else is going to care about you? Why bother? And so what ends up happening is we lower our standards and we just basically just give up. We get to what I call the victim mode. We get to not victim, the fool. We get to a point in our life where we're like, I don't care. My health is bad, don't care. I smoke a lot, don't care. I drink a lot, don't care. Do I have goals? Don't care. It's like we're nonchalant. We don't care. We've given up hope. We don't even have hope in our lives. Right? It's like, no matter what I do, it doesn't mean anything. No matter what I do or I try to do in my life, it has no significance. It makes no progress. So what's the point, Cass? Fuck it. I can't be asked. We do get to that stage, but I would encourage you, if you're even remotely watching this, that must mean you're somebody who you are meant to be a winner. Your life just somehow hasn't gone the way that you wanted it to, and yeah, you're not at the stage where you wanted to, but I realise that you must be a winner, because in my life I only attract winners. I only attract people in my life who want to succeed. I only attract people in my life who desire and have the ability and the capacity for greatness. And so I would encourage you to risk again. Go out there and put yourself out again. Dare to be great. There is a saying that says, only those who dare to win, only those who risk. What is a phrase? There's a phrase. In fact, I've just read it in a book which I've been reading recently. Let me tell you the phrase, because it's a really interesting phrase. The phrase is, bear with me, let me tell it to you because I think it will be really useful. But it's a really interesting phrase about, here it is. Who dares wins. Meaning, if you don't risk, I know that your life may have been shit, and I understand that your heart may have been broken. I understand you may have been betrayed. I understand you may have gone through fostering. I understand that you may be in a situation which you don't desire. But the reality is, unless you risk again, unless you dare to be great, you cannot achieve it. You've got to go out there and start risking. You've got to go out there and put your heart out there. You've got to go out there and actually put yourself out there and actually become vulnerable again, and actually go out there and have some desire. Begin to raise your standard, your expectation of your life. The word that I use for standards is expectation. That's all it is. Raise your expectations. What do you expect in your life? What do you expect for yourself? When I'm teaching leadership, one of the things that I tell people is that I tell them that in life, in all honesty, no one really expects anything from you. I mean, the government expects you basically not to kill people or not to do any crazy things that sort of break the law. But apart from that, in all honesty, no one really expects anything of you. Actually, I lie. Your parents expect you, kind of have an expectation of you to become, to do well in life and to be happy. But in all honesty, apart from that, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. People are too preoccupied with their own problems and their own hurting and their own issues that they're having to deal with. And so you've got to make it your responsibility to deal with your stuff. You've actually got to have higher expectations for you than other people have of you. I know it would be wonderful if a knight in shining armor would come along and you could win the lottery, and one of a rich uncle could give you thousands of pounds and you could just clear off all your debt and you could just be given an amazing job. It would be wonderful. But the reality is that never happens. Sometimes it happens, there is an exception to every rule, but the reality is it rarely happens. And so you've got to make it your responsibility to go and deal with this, to go and get what you want, which is going to involve you having to risk something. Here's my question. How much are you risking at the moment? And this isn't about being stupid and literally just going out there and blowing everything, just literally putting everything on the line. This just means you've got to do what I read in a book by Tiger Woods' dad. Tiger Woods, you know, the famous golfer. His dad wrote a book about how he trained Tiger Woods, and he taught him something called course management. He explained that he basically taught Tiger Woods that when Tiger Woods got into a situation where he was going to hit a ball, he trained Tiger to be able to look at all the various options. And then he said to Tiger, look at all the different, for example, the different clubs that you can use to hit the ball. Look at all the different things that can affect it, the wind, what other components might do, view lines, trees, how many hits you're going to need to hit it to get it in the hole. And he said, look at all those various factors and then decide on the one that is most likely. And for you, what I would share with you is, look at all the different options in your life and look at the one that is the most successful, the one that has the most likely chance. Everything in life has a risk. Even playing small has a risk to it, right? So you've got to decide which one has the most likely chance of succeeding and go down that path. You know, for me, you see me doing Casimotive, I had to come to a stage in my life where I was like, right, okay, so if I continue being an estate agent, where will that lead me in 20 years' time? And I realized, okay, well, that's going to lead me here. If I start Casimotive and I reach my objective, where could that reach me in 20 years? And I realized, okay, if I follow Casimotive, I love it. I love helping people, which means I'm going to be much more likely to become better at it, which means I'm more likely to actually succeed because I'm going to work harder at it. And so I was like, of course, Casimotive is a better option, but it does involve a risk. It does mean I have to quit my job, which has got security, pension, I get to go on a holiday, like all of these amazing things. So the last lesson that I wanted to share with you is to risk. Put yourself out there again. You have to, because if you don't, you're always going to be stuck where you are. So those are the 5 lessons that I wanted to share with you, but what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts? Also, if you like what I shared today, if you could subscribe to my channel Casimotive on YouTube so that I can keep sending you more of these videos so that you can become your highest, fullest expression of yourself. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.